Hi book lovers, welcome back to my channel. I'm here today with another recommendations video, this time not for a specific trope, but for hot girl summer. All of the recommendations that I've chosen today are books with hot girl summer vibes, with heroines who are thriving, who want to have the best sex of their lives, who want to have a summer fling, things like that. So most of these are going to be taking place during the summer or someplace that's like hot and humid. These books might take place on vacation, around a beach, or some body of water. These are all gonna be adult romances, so a very high steam. And most importantly, these heroines are gonna be looking for some D, some good vitamin D. The first book that I have for you guys literally has summer in the title, and that is One Hot Italian Summer by Karina Halley. This book takes place during the summer in Italy, in the Italian countryside, with a gorgeous Italian man, a gorgeous Italian single father hero. The heroine, Grace, is an author, but she's kind of gotten herself in a writer's block after the death of her best friend. So her agent tells her to go to Italy to stay at that agent's villa to get some inspiration. What Grace doesn't know though is that staying at the villa is the agent's ex-husband, along with that ex-husband's son. So not only is Grace living in the gorgeous setting of Italy for the summer, she's also living in very close proximity with a beautiful Italian man. Grace and Claudio's meet cute is actually pretty hilarious. Grace, thinking that she's all alone in this villa, she goes swimming naked, and of course that's when Claudio appears along with his son, and they see her in all her naked glory. This was such a romantic read. Like, if I had a fantasy of going to Italy, falling in love with a man there, and just living my best life there, this book would be it. Claudio and his sweet talking ways, his Italian sweet nothings, oh my gosh, I died. Also, this book will 100% make you wish you were living in the Italian countryside. My next recommendation is Take a Hint, Danny Brown by Talia Hibbert. This one is not necessarily like taking place in the summer, but we do have the most quintessential hot girl summer girl in Danny Brown. Danny is a bit of a witch, and at the beginning of the book, she literally prays to her higher being to find someone, a man or a woman, to give her the best sex of her life. Doesn't matter who, doesn't matter what, but she needs some good sex. And I mean, that whole thing I feel like is a huge part about what hot girl summer is all about. Having flings and having fun, and that's exactly what Danny wants to look for. Luckily for her, divine intervention comes in the form of her friend Zaf, who is a security guard at the school that she works at. During a fire drill, Zaf actually ends up saving Danny from being stuck in an elevator. He carries her out princess style, and people take a video of them and they go viral. This is a huge boost in publicity for Zaf's charity organization, so they embark in this whole fake relationship. Zaf and Danny are both super horny for each other. It is very hard for them to keep their hands off each other. Zaf already has a huge crush on Danny, but unfortunately Danny tries to keep emotions out of all of her relationships, but we all know how that plays out. This one is such a fun read. It's very rom-com-y. I love Talia Hibbert's style of writing. It's humorous, emotional, sexy, just a very well-rounded read. My next recommendation is The Pool Boy by Nikki Sloan. This is hot girl summer for an older heroine. I feel like I've been recommending Nikki Sloan so many times, but I swear she is so good. If you're looking for some steamy emotional reads, her books are perfect. I chose The Pool Boy because it takes place around the pool. I think it might be taking place during the summer as well, but the pool was the most important part for me. We've got an older heroine and a younger hero. Erica has just divorced her cheating husband, and she is living her best life now. She got a boob job, she's been working out, and has the best body that she's ever had her whole life, and she ends up having a forbidden affair and falling in love with her best friend's son. Erica, after being in a less than stellar marriage for a couple decades, is now thriving. Troy is her pool boy. He comes in every week to clean her pool, but one week she goes home from work a little early and decides to sunbathe topless, and that's when Troy comes in and sees her and her gorgeous new boobs. She and Troy steam up the pages like crazy. The forbiddenness between them, because of course He is her best friend's son. It adds so much angst to it. So if you love age gaps, especially one with an older heroine, this book is perfect. Though if you do prefer like an older hero, book 1 in the series, The Doctor, is also a great read as well. If you're looking for a shorter read, Love Scammed by Rilsey Adams is perfect. This one centers more around Valentine's Day than summer, but I still think it's perfect because it takes place on vacation, it's on a cruise, they're in Turks and Caicos. The main characters, Monet and Hudson, they're both set up on a blind date together on a vacation, on a cruise vacation by her best friend and his cousin. This book is like the dream Caribbean fling turned romance. Monet and Hudson definitely did not want to be scammed onto this vacation, this blind date vacation together, but since it's all expenses paid, why not go for it? Which reminds me, I definitely want to have friends who offer all expenses paid vacations for me by setting me up on a blind date with a hot guy. But Hudson and Monet definitely try to make the most of this vacation, and they start falling for each other in the most romantic way. Hudson is literally the sweetest. There's lots of drinking and eating and dancing, and it will definitely make you wish you were on a cruise somewhere in the Caribbean. It's a very quick read, very low drama and angst, so if you're in the mood for that, go for it. My next recommendation is actually a 2-book series from the one and only Tessa Bailey. I honestly could have chosen so many of her books for Hot Girl Summer recommendations, but I went with these 2 girl books, Getaway Girl and Runaway Girl. If you've read Tessa Bailey, you know she writes some very high steam, dirty talking books. These 2 books take place in the South, South Carolina and Florida, and I don't know about you, but to me the South is very much like a summery vibes type of place. I don't know if that makes sense, but like the heat and the humidity and just like sipping on some sweet iced tea, that very much fits my idea of summer. Getaway Girl is book 1, though honestly you could read both of them as standalones, but this is book 1. The heroine Addison, the black sheep of the family, she's returned back home to Charleston after quite a long time away. She shows up at her estranged cousin's wedding, a wedding where the bride has just jilted the groom, and Addison becomes the getaway car for that jilted groom. It's friends to lovers, Addison and Elijah, the jilted groom, who is also the mayor of their city. They become really good friends, even though there's a very intense chemistry going on between them. Elijah is a total cinnamon roll and sweetheart, and surprisingly, this book has a dirty talking heroine. Usually, Tessa Bailey heroes are the ones known for their dirty talking, but Addison has quite the filthy mouth. And then we have book 2 in the series, Runaway Girl, which can also be read as a standalone, but this one, the heroine, is actually the bride who jilted Elijah in book 1. I was so happy Tessa Bailey decided to give Naomi her own story. She becomes so much more than just a bride, a runaway bride. After her unfortunate jilting, she runs away and goes all the way down to Florida. That's where Naomi meets Jason and his younger sister, who he now has custody of. Naomi is not quite the thriving heroine just yet, but she does go through this whole transformation where she turns from someone who was born and bred to be a trophy wife into someone who is empowered and independent, all the while having some fantastic chemistry with Jason. So read these 2 books. I think I loved Getaway Girl just a tiny bit more, but they're both still so great. And also, sweet, dirty talking Southern boys are always a plus. And then another read that's on the shorter side is Truth or Dare by Danielle Allen. This one is a destination wedding romance, so vacation, beach, tropics, all that good stuff. We have a group of college best friends who all reunite for this destination wedding, and every year they play this game of Truth or Dare. This year though, things turn spicy between Simone and Kingston. Kingston himself has had a bit of a glow up since they've all seen each other. The night before their wedding, they play their traditional Truth or Dare wedding, and if I recall correctly, there is a lap dance dare that gets very hot. It's friends to lovers, and I love that realization between Simone and Kingston where, hey, it turns out that you're actually really hot and that I am actually really attracted to you. It surprises them both, but once they go for it, they really go for it. There's also a fantastic cast of characters, like the whole friendship group. They're all amazing, and I really want them to get their own books. Also, Simone is such a fantastic heroine. She's confident, she's a queen. Like, if anyone deserves a hot girl summer, this girl does. And my final final recommendation is one that's a little bit different from the rest of the books, but we have a heroine who knows what she wants sexually and goes after it. Also, another Southern Sweet Talker hero. So this one is Degrees of Control by Eve Dangerfield. This is erotic romance, BDSM. I'm not like a big fan of BDSM, only when it comes to things like incorporating toys and stuff, but when it comes to mind stuff and psychological stuff, I love it. And this is mainly what Degrees of Control is all about. Charlotte, the heroine, is a sweet little yoga teacher, and she has quite the masochistic tendencies. She's a submissive, and she is very determined to find her perfect dom. She meets the hero James at a party. They have a one-night stand that fulfills all of their fantasies, and it turns out one night is just not enough. James does have some alpha asshole tendencies, but luckily Charlotte does not take any of his shit. The sex is filthy in this one. Eve Dangerfield is definitely very underrated when it comes to erotic romances, but of course there's also a lot more outside of the bedroom. Both of them have their own issues, but I just really love Charlotte and the way that she made the sex on her terms. She went after what she wanted and she got it. There's also a bit of a time limit, like a deadline between these two, because Charlotte is from Australia and she does plan on going back home. So much like a summer fling, their time is temporary. I do want to emphasize though, James is quite the jerk. If you love jerk heroes, you'll probably love him, but he can be a little bit abrasive and unemotional at times. But I really love seeing him slowly fall for Charlotte and letting her into his heart. The kink was just fantastic here. I loved it. I also love Eve Dangerfield's writing as well. Like, it's not just all hot and kinky and stuff. There's also some levels of humor. She always writes unique characters that are so endearing. Also, I literally just found out that the author released like a sequel novella to Degrees of Control. It's called James and the Giant Dilemma, which is the cutest title. Those are all my recommendations for Hot Girl Summer reads, Hot Girl Summer vibes. If you have your own romance recommendations that are perfect for Hot Girl Summer or some summer reads, let me know. And if you do end up reading these, let me know what you think. As always, books that I mentioned will be down in the description below. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you all next time. Bye!